administration, the Secretary of the Treasury, actually stating that we don't have a constitutional right to bank. And this has been made public a few days ago, just in time for the enforcement of the mark of the beast crisis. Take a look at this, my friends. Is citizenship becoming the new banking requirement? Trump order to require banks to collect citizenship information in process. It is now going on. It is in process. And here is Scott Bessent giving us the details. Headline says, Trump executive order could debank millions of Americans. Debank means you lose access to your money. Not only the fiat currency, bills and coins, but when they roll out the digital-only society, you can only access and pay, buy and sell with a digital currency. It's going to be much easier for them to debank individuals who are non-compliant to their draconian policies, to debank individuals who are opposing, who dissent to their diabolical policies. And those policies will suppress our liberties, religious and civil. My focus is the last sentence from Scott Bessent. Hear what he says. Access to the American banking system is a privilege that should be reserved for those who respect our laws and sovereignty. I always knew that banking was not a constitutional right. It's not. But when Scott...
Hey, Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Yahudash, double honor to apostles, bishops, elders of great millstone, and Shalom, true brothers in the highways and byways, doing the works sincerely and faithfully, continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we're finding that number to be the living. All right. So in this video, he said the key phrase. He said the key phrase. And that phrase was for the implementation of the mark of the beast. All right. We've been telling y'all this for a very long time, from the head apostles on down. And you just ain't going to get it. Well, you know what? Esau is going to make you understand what Revelation 13 is talking about. He's going to make you understand. All right. Because the Lord has set up his prophets on the highways and byways to give you the warning of the things to come. All right. So now talking about this banking issue and this banking situation. There's a lot of people in this world who don't understand the dynamics of what's happening right now. All right. Prophecy is being fulfilled. The word of Yahweh Shai is now being, spoken throughout the world. And it's not being spoken by everybody. It's truly being spoken by the prophets and the servants whom the Lord has established and set up. Not these pastors from the theology schools, not these individuals, these Christians, running around talking about Jesus Christ loves everybody. All right. This word is being spoken by the prophets of the Lord. Okay. As it is written, he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. All right. So as this whole thing starts to unfold in the declining of this this old currency, if you will, and the implementation of the new system, the new digital system. Here you have a man. I don't know where he's from, but he's also telling you that this system that's about to be put in place is based and studied around the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. You got Israelites out there who have no clue and have no understanding on what this means. There's nothing else out there in this world that's going to match up with what the book of Revelation says and what the prophets have been teaching. There's nothing else coming. Once they implement this new system, all right, there's nothing else going to come after that. So you can sit around and wait for the mark of the beast if you want to. All right? But just look at the dynamics of it. Now, let me finish off on this little video.
Sincere, the banking system, your access to it is a privilege. It clicked. Oh, it's not a right. It's a privilege. Okay, watch carefully. And who are the people that will have the privilege to access their hard-earned monies. Who? Watch carefully. Last sentence. It's only reserved for those who respect our laws. That's it. What does that mean, friends? What does that?
Now, here you have the executive order being put in place where you're going to have to prove your citizenship to this country. All right, so you got two things happening right now. You got the Northern Kingdom, you got the Southern Kingdom. The Southern Kingdom will use the term banking while black, right? Now the Northern Kingdom, they're now going to have to prove their nationality. All right? I don't give a damn if you was born in this country. I don't give a damn how many generations your people has been in this country. If you got the last name of Ruiz, Ortiz, any so-called Spanish last name, when you go to these banks, after this shit gets put in place, you're going to have to prove your nationality. You're going to have to prove your citizenship. All right? And the man was just talking about how the banks are going to have the right to debank you. In other words, any money you got in those banks is going to be gone. Now, let me play this quick clip. Now, this clip I'm about to play, these are Edomites, but this also goes to show you that this devil is going to stop at nothing for anybody, even his own damn people. And this is why we say you two-time losers. You losing in a kingdom that was strategically set up for you by the Lord. The Lord gave this kingdom to you to rule. All right, let's play this quick video.
Tapping your news at 5:30 with an update on a Mesa couple that says their bank is holding about $50,000 of their money hostage.
It's a lot of cash, so they're having to borrow money from family and friends just to survive and pay their daily living expenses at this point. On your sides, Gary Harper is here with the latest. We've been waiting for an update on this one.
Yeah, first told everybody about this just a couple of weeks ago, and I do have some new information, but I'm going to tell you right now, it is not good news, unfortunately. We're talking about Chase Bank. The couple you're about to see has 3 bank accounts with Chase for a total of around $48,000. But 3 months ago, Chase froze those accounts without any explanation, and now it's refusing these viewers access to their own money. Here's the update. Since Barb and Steve White explained their unique situation in a previous On Your Side report, their issue still remains unresolved.
I feel like I'm guilty until proven innocent, basically.
Turns out their 3 Chase bank accounts totaling more than $48,000 were frozen and closed by their own bank, Chase. And the only explanation...
You hear that? These banks were frozen and closed. So therefore, you're not getting your money back. There's not going to be a fair hearing where we made a mistake, Mr. and Mrs. White. Here's your $40,000 back. But this is also a sign of the times to come. Even Esau, who's been running around talking about make America great again and God bless America, all these slogans, even they're going to feel it, man. They're going to feel the effects. All right? But it's going to hit Jake the worst. But as we said before, we say it again, this is going to be a prison planet over here for you. Now, we of the hope for the elect, we trust and lean on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's what we're going to do. But the majority of you people, you're going to sit there and beg this system, this rulership. You're going to beg for mercy from the rulership of these people. All right, let's lay a little more.
Chase is giving the retired couple is that it's related to recent activity on the account. Barb and Steve say, what does that even mean?
That is like beating your head against a brick wall. It literally is, because you go through person after person. I'm not sure I can help you with this. Let me let you talk to this person.
Even with On Your Side's involvement, Chase Bank continues to hold the couple's money hostage without explanation. And it's been 3 months.
It's very frustrating. Very, very infuriating, actually.
Yes, you ain't getting your money back. All right? But it also establishes the fact that this is what needs to be done in order for this new transitional, system can be put in place. All right? The so-called American people are now going to be under duress, stress, anguish, because at the end of the day, it's all about money. Money is what makes this world go round. And if you deprive the people of their money, then they're gonna what? They're gonna have to come to you in their lowest state. All right? So this is where we're at right now. Let's jump down. This is Revelation 13 and 17. It says, and that no man might buy or sell. All right? This is where it's at. No man is going to be able to buy or sell. Okay? Let me go here.
Is your coming a time just in time for the enforcement of the mark of the beast crisis?
You see that? Just in time for the enforcement of the mark of the beast. It's coming. All right? There's little time left. You know, different, analysts, different bloggers, they've been telling you, pull your money out these banks. See, you people thought when we say things like that, you people think that, oh, these guys is crazy. What do they know? My financial advisor told me everything's going to be all right. So now you're going to be slapped in the face with reality. Listen to what he says right here.
Take a look at this, my friends. Is citizenship becoming the new banking requirement? Trump order to require banks to collect citizenship information.
All right. So you're going back to that citizenship. What does that mean? Anybody in this country who speaks Spanish primarily, has the last name, a so-called, Spanish last name, and chances are one or two things are going to happen. You're going to go in these banks and they're going to deny you your money, you're going to go in these banks, they're going to deny your money, and they're going to lock you up. It's as simple as that. All right? Let's continue back on with some scriptures. Okay? That no man might buy or sell. We've been telling you, from the head apostles on down, we've been telling you that the time is going to come where you're not going to be able to buy or sell anything, save he that had the mark, which is that chip. All right? There's not much more anybody can say. There's not many more, gray areas, to say the least. There's not many more gray areas you're going to be able to try to fixate on and say, nah, well, it sounds about right, but no, this is it. It's about to get serious out here, man. It's about to get deadly serious out here. Not to mention, you got that new, that new thing that's floating around. Now the gates of hell, he said, the next time that come around, it's going to be worse than the first. This is all a part of the plan. This isn't just some coincidence. This is all have been strategically laid out from years of work they've been putting in on this. Okay? Let me get this article. So I typed in, can the executive orders prohibit people from accessing their bank accounts? All right. As of May 2026, President Trump's executive orders guaranteeing fair banking for all Americans. All right. Stop right there. Fair banking for all Americans. All right. So banking while black, you ain't considered American. If you black, you ain't considered American. If you Latin, you ain't considered American. You know why? Because they're going to now put in play, you got to prove your citizenship. All right? So yes, they're going to have the ability for fair banking for people, but not you Israelites. Let me continue on. It says, issued August 7, 2025, and designed to prevent, not facilitate, the prohibition of people accessing their bank accounts based on political or religious beliefs. All right. Now this is now have been narrowed down to the American people. You know, some Americans might be atheists, some Americans might be Protestant, Catholic, whatever. That's not going to exclude you. You know, some Americans are gonna be Democrats or Republicans or what's that? A non-denomination. If that's what it was, I can't recall. But that being said, so they're not going to exclude you for your political or religious beliefs. They're going to exclude you for the color of your skin and your nationality, which now stems into who? The so-called blacks, so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called Native Americans, anybody that's speaking Spanish of the 12 tribes of Israel. It says the order explicitly aims to stop financial institutions from debanking law-abiding individuals based on political or religious beliefs. All right. Now, let me see here. Let me see if I can. Let me search that debanking. Debanking is the sudden closure of a person's or organization's bank accounts by financial institutions, often cutting them off from essential financial services. There it is. All right. So you people, you Israelites, you better be really ready and prepared to be debanked. Your money's gone. You know? So there's not going to be any wiggle room. Let me speak to the manager. Okay, what's that going to do? Manager's going to come out and say, I can't do nothing for you. We can't help you on this. Let me jump down to this bullet point here. It says citizenship documentation. As of April 2026, which is now in effect, the Treasury is preparing banks to collect citizenship data, focusing on restricting access for undocumented individuals, while also ensuring lawful residents retain access. All right. So now, one may say, I'm Puerto Rican and I've been here banking for 5 years. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be in the bank teller's discretion. Okay? And trust me, I truly believe that these banks and their staff have been instructed, do not in any shape, form, or fashion give money to anybody of, Latin descent, black, or what have you. So again, you think it's sweet, you think you got money in the bank, you think you've been, stocking up entrepreneurs and, business owners. It's all coming to a halt. You know why? Because there's about to be a reset. And this is what you people don't understand. And that reset is going to entail what? The M.O.T.B. That's what this reset is all about. Okay? Prophecy being fulfilled. Okay? Let me get Habakkuk 2:6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay? So this system has been in debt for years, right? And the only way they can get themselves out from underneath that red, if you will, is to switch up the whole shit. And this is what they're going to do. It's going to benefit them because it's going to wipe out all of its debt. America's debt is going to be wiped out. That thick clay, which is debt, that's going to be wiped out. So there's so many moving parts right now. You truly don't understand, or you won't understand unless you're paying attention, unless you're truly watching what's unfolding. You see? That day is you're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up one morning and it's gonna be over. Going to access your bank accounts, denied. Let me go to the gas station to get some gas. Pull your debit card out, try to slide it in there. Denied. Maybe if you got some cash, you may get some gas. Maybe. All right? But then again, by that time, who knows? They may have the ability to put gas at $40 a gallon. You may got $15 in your pocket. You can't even get a gallon of gas if they do some crazy shit like that, which they probably will. Because you figure, once they shut the banks down, any residual monies that is in people's pockets or what have you is going to be absorbed very quickly because prices are going to go through the roof. So like I said, you may have the ability to pull some money out of your pocket, but is that going to be enough to satisfy whatever the price tag is on the label? All right? And they've already been talking about by the time 2035, Lord willing, we out of here, quick, fast. But they're talking about eliminating all, combustion engines, all combustion vehicles. And that's not going to be hard to do. It will not be hard to do. All they got to do is stop the flow of gas to this, to these gas pumps. That's all they got to do. Stop the delivery of tanks filling up these gas tanks. These trucks filling up these gas tanks. And that's it. All right? So with that being said, we're living in some very beautiful times. And these times are beautiful to the hopeful elect, because these are the things that we've been prophesying about. These are the things that we've been, I should say, desiring to see. Unlike most of you people, you just going with the flow. That's what you people are doing, just going with the flow and, seeing what's going to happen and, hoping for the best. All right? So with all that being said, we're going to continue to prophesy about these things going down. But with this new pestilence that's floating out there, all right, with this thing that's going on, with this banking system that's going on, people are at their wits' end. People are on edge. We're going to find out what Revelation 13 was all about. Okay? And you non-believers and those who truly believe that it's not talking anything about, a mark that is going to be implanted in your hand, you're going to find out. And if you haven't already, realized it, then you're going to know real soon. All right? So with that, I'm going to say, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathum. To all you brothers out there, I'll see you on the next one. Say Shalom.